Hello, welcome back, my favorite movement enthusiasts, to another episode of Advanced Mobility Breakdowns, where we take an advanced mobility drill that requires a lot of strength, flexibility, coordination, and endurance, and break it down step by step so you can join us if you are a bloody beginner or if you are a little bit more advanced when it comes to mobility, but you are looking for the tiniest bit of a challenge. And by the end of this video, you're going to be able to do this complete mobility drill by yourself without needing any help, so you can advance your flexibility while working on every single other fitness aspect as well in one single workout. So if you're ready, let's go and have some fun. Now, to get you started with a warm-up that is going to activate all the joints, this is going to activate all the joints and the necessary muscles we're going to work on mostly today. Our first order is being able to get into a complete deep squat with both feet flat on the ground. If your heels raise a little bit, don't worry, over time this will get better. If you can't do even that, you can check out this video where we get into the deep squat step by step. Once you can do that, now we want to start with our legs a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, because we want to be able to push our hips down towards the ground all the way and getting our butt all the way down on the ground. This is going to help us strengthen our knees while going into complete ankle extension, lengthening our tibialis. And we have two variations. The beginner one, where we're going to use your hands to assist yourself getting to ankle flexion, pull your knees in and reverse the movement once again into ankle extension. By doing this, we're working on strengthening our ankles by flexing our tibialis, strengthening our hips by flexing our hip flexors, pulling our knees in, working a lot on our core due to the balance we're going to require before we use our own strength and coordination to reverse this movement, and actively pushing our hips down all the way towards the ground. Now, just a handful of repetitions of this will be more than enough to start activating your lower body. So from here, we're going to combine the tiniest bit of shoulder strength and arm strength with core and hip flexor strength and posterior chain flexibility. Starting from here, right hand besides the right foot, extend, pull in and reverse. Left side, right side, stay fluent and in motion. Do a handful of repetitions. If you can go for 12, that will be absolutely amazing. If you can't, take a break whenever you need to, and we can advance to the next exercise. So now that we have a base movement pattern, which is this one, a very simple one, we can start adding complexity, with which we'll be adding a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more strength, a little bit more endurance, and a ton more of coordination, which is one of the most important things you should be working on. Same starting position, extend forward. Now we're going to cross over, pull in, and extend backwards as well. Start moving towards our foot and lengthening our entire posterior chain and our lower body. A reverse is going to take a lot of core strength. And repeat on the other side. Extend forward, extend from behind. If you have the flexibility, tap your toe. If you don't, try and get there. Reverse. We're gonna start with the same starting position we had for our warm-up, getting to our deep squat, add our extension here, add our posterior extension stretch as well. Reverse and get down into our starting position once more. The wider you open up, the lower you can go with your hips, and combining once again ankle with knee, hip mobility, and a lot of hip and core strength all in one single fluid motion. So now that we've worked a lot on our hip flexor and core strength, let's add a little bit of posterior chain strength as well, specifically our hamstrings and our glutes. Instead of getting into our deep squat from here, all we want to do is push forward this time, activating our posterior chain, lengthening our anterior chain, leaning backwards to move that stretch higher up to our abdominals. And then we're going to go into our resting or deep squat position, extend forward, extend backwards, add that touch so we can have this full posterior chain stretch as well, combining the strengthening part of our posterior chain, which is this one, with the stretching part of our posterior chain, which is this one, as well as that one, of course, and repeat always on both sides. And now it's time to add another movement to our routine. We are starting with our posterior chain strength, getting into our deep squat position first, raising into this complete extension, now adding posterior chain stretches to our spinal erectors, our lumbar spinal musculature, before we do our forward extension, our backwards extension, once again tapping our toes if we want to add this maximum flexibility, rolling over our toes and getting into complete ankle extension once more, pushing our hips down. You can add this wherever you want to. Start with the activation, get into your deep squat, add the extension here, add the forward and backwards, crossover, or do it at the very end of the movement. Push forward, raise, extend, extend, reverse, extend, and back, rolling over our toes, complete ankle extension into our starting position. Now, starting from here, things are going to get a little bit more advanced, so I would highly advise that you slow it down just for now until you have the base of this movement down before you can add a little bit more explosivity and a little bit more speed. Instead of starting like so, now we want to lean backwards. This is going to highly depend on your own range of motion. Keep in mind, we don't want to have any sort of pain, especially in our joints. Discomfort, very okay. Pain, not so much. You can either keep your hands on the ground, your elbows on the ground, or if you do have the anterior chain flexibility, you can lean back all the way. And now you want to be able to sit up from here. You can once again use your arms to sit up, or at the very least help you get up the first couple of inches from the ground before you activate your own anterior chain and move the rest of the way. Or if you do have the strength on top of the flexibility, you can use your own strength from here, getting into our ankle flexion, getting into our deep squat, getting into our complete extension, lowering down into our squatting position, extending forward, extending backwards, reversing, and back into our full starting position by leaning back all the way. Sit up, activating our core. Sit up, activating our tibialis and our hip flexors. Sit up, extend, activating our quads all the way, flexing our legs, lengthening our posterior chain, reversing into a complete deep squat before we have our front extension, our back extension, adding the posterior chain stretch to this massive activation surrounding our core before we reverse back into our full starting position, leaning down slowly in a controlled fashion, and then getting into the new repetition. So now that we have a pretty complex routine, we can start tweaking the tiniest things so we can add a little bit more focus on the different body parts we have not yet addressed, specifically opening up our chest and shoulders as we have lowered into our deep squat. Instead of placing our hand here, we're going to sway sideways, move outwards as much as we can, because now we want to extend while lowering down closer to the ground and keep your body from touching down. This is in turn going to help us add internal and external shoulder rotation, lengthening our pectorals and our deltoids. So we have that added shoulder mobility in the front. We have a lot more core engagement now. And of course, we're going to add this one as well. And of course, we're going to try this one as well. Now, the lower you go down to the ground, the more you're going to lengthen here, but also the more strength you will require. So keep that in mind. Maybe you start with baby steps, baby steps, baby steps until you're all the way out here before you reverse back into our squat, back into our starting position, which is by now laying down all the way. Sit up, extend, lower, and grab as far outwards as you can. Extend here, extend there, reverse, and you're going to notice it opening up your entire chest before you reverse and repeat once more. Now it's time to add our last movement to this drill, which is going to make it exponentially harder. So focus, we're going to go through it step by step. Our starting position is this one. Once again, depending on your range of motion, it could be down here all the way. Activate your anterior chain, pull your upper body up. Get into a deep squat, activate your hip flexors and your quads. Once again, now we want to get onto our tiptoes in this pike or forward fold position to add a little bit more posterior chain stretch, but also more to strengthen our lower leg musculature. Now we are back into our deep squat. Instead of placing our hand here, we're going to place it here. We're going to extend backwards. We're going to extend forward. And now instead of getting back into our squat from here, we want to reverse the movement with complete spinal rotation. Pull back and switch hands like so. We have a lot of external rotation and we're going to pull this leg in so we can get back into our full starting position. Let's check out the whole flow once more, very slowly. From our starting position, sitting up, step number 1. Getting into our deep squat position, step number 2. Folding forward, getting on our tiptoes, step number 3. Down into a deep squat, step number 4. Place your hand on the outside, extend backwards, step number 5. Step number 6, switch hands, pull in, reverse the movement, pull this foot in, down, down, and all the way down. One more time, picking up speed, sitting up, deep squat, extension, deep squat, extension, extension, reversal, switching hands back into our starting position from here, down, here. Now, when it comes to frequency, if you can do this 3 times a week, that would be absolutely amazing. The more often you do it and the less space you have between your sessions, the more effective this will be. And also, adding this more frequently will help you advance all your other fitness goals much, much faster. Because we're not just focusing on flexibility or strength, but we're putting all of this together. And most importantly, through this coordination, your strength will increase, your speed will increase, and your flexibility will increase as well. Work your way up until you can do the full drill in one single movement. Take as many breaks as you need. Try to enjoy yourself a little bit. Have a little bit more fun with this, because having more fun will keep you at it and help you do this more often. And if you like the video and join us. We do stuff like that pretty much every single day, which means that I will see you tomorrow. So until then, Captain Cairo, peace out.